What is up, guys? I thought I would do another tutorial for you all so that you can understand creating smart objects and how they will work for your benefit in this product packaging project we got going on. I'm going to do three different demonstrations and on three different types of packaging. You can see I have this cereal box here because I'm going to start there since it's something familiar. We've all seen it before. But if you remember this file, it used to have all these layers over here. I just kind of merged them all together so I could show you how to create the smart object that it gave you by default, but how to create it for yourself. It's super easy and it shouldn't take long at all, and it's actually going to save you in the long run. So let's just dive in. So I'm going to go grab my cereal box art, my cover here, and just drag it onto my page. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit enter. I'm not going to resize it. I'm not going to try to make it fit right off the start. The very first thing I want to do is make it a smart object layer. So how I'm going to do that? Super easy. I'm just going to hit enter, go over here to my layer, right click on it or control click on it, and I'm going to look for this option to convert to smart object. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And when that's done, now the warping can begin. On these three different demonstrations, I'm going to show you a couple different warping options and how to warp things properly. So this one is on an angle, and I'm going to have to make it look like it's on that angle. And I'm going to show you how to do this. This one's actually pretty easy. We all know Command T to transform, but instead of trying to stretch it and stuff like that, it's not going to work, right? We need to hold Command first, and check this out. I can actually move every corner now freely while I'm holding Command. So I'm going to drag this to this corner, drag this to this corner, and these are already kind of in the corners. I'm just going to make sure. And when that's done, I'm still holding Command, but now that I'm done, I'm going to let go, hit enter, and it looks like it's on the box now, just like it did before. And over here, we just created the smart object layer that was already there for us from the last project, right? We just recreated it. If I double click this, the original piece is still there, still flat. If I wanted to turn this off or if I wanted to replace it with something else, I could. I could save it. I'm not going to save it, but I could, and it would reflect over on this side just like we're used to. And that's really helpful when you're working with somebody, so you don't have to like rewarp it every time there's an update. But let's keep going. Let's take a look at two more scenarios. This next one is going to be a soda can. Now I didn't design this. I just kind of went online and looked for some helpful labels that we could work with. And so I found this super healthy tea looking thing, Zobo hibiscus tea. I don't know what it is, but it looked like it would help, and help explain what we're doing here. I'm going to hit enter. Again, first thing I'm going to do, create a smart object layer. Control click, convert to smart object. Now I'm good, right? Okay. Now this label is it's showing more than what would show on this can, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is actually chop off the edges here because I don't really need them. They're not really going to be shown, and if you're designing a label for a can like this, you're probably not going to end up designing all these sides because they're not going to be shown, and that's cool. So I'm going to use the rectangle selection tool, which we don't really use that often, but helps in this case. I'm going to select the part that I want to keep, and I'm just going to copy and paste this. That's all I'm really going to do. But since I did that, I'm going to delete this one. Now all I got is that. Cool. I have to make this a smart object layer now because I deleted the original before I do any warping. It's still the original size, so I'm still good. But now you always want to make sure it has this little icon in the corner there. If you hover over it, say smart object thumbnail. So yeah, make sure it's like that. And check out this. There's a new, this other warping tool that I want to show you. And it's going to work like this. Now that it's a smart object, I'm actually going to scale it up to fit a little bit better. That's cool. It's good for now. And if I go over to edit and I go to transform, you can see that we have all these other transform options. I'm going to use warp. And warp makes things super flexible. You can see all these points, these cross lines in the middle there, all of it's movable. And so if I take this corner here just to start and I start moving it, you can see that it's going to kind of take on a curve a little bit. Curve a little bit there. These are little handles that I can kind of use to adjust it. And so looking good there. Bring this down, curve it. So I'm going to mess with this for a few minutes. Try to talk my way through it. It's just kind of messing with it until it looks right. Down. Oh, I want to make sure it's okay if it goes past the can a little bit because I'm going to make a mask to kind of cover up the parts that are not seen. So and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Up there, cool. I think that's looking pretty good. All right. So what's cool is now that I made it a smart object layer, I can hit enter and I don't have to worry about a thing. If I want to go back to that, all those settings will still be there. It'll pick up right where I left off. If I didn't make that a smart object, I'd have to do all of that all over again. So it's kind of nice to be able to go back and adjust more if I feel like something didn't come out right. I'm going to go ahead and blend this on the can so I can see the can a little bit more. Yeah, that was looking really good. So, all right, so I got to chop off these edges. Let me turn this off for a second and cut out our can. All right, cool. That was easy enough. So let's click on the label, turn it back on, and apply the mask to the label itself, not the can. So now we got chop off the rest of those edges. They're hidden. I can see that. If I want to edit this some more, I can, which is really great about smart objects. I gotta unlink this, these two, if I want to edit this some more or warp it some more. So make sure you unlink it. It'll tell you. A pop-up will come up if you forget to do that. So I'm going to go back to warp, and you can see all my settings are still there. So if I want to tweak this a little bit more, if I feel like I need to, I can, which is awesome. I used to do this all the time at my old job, and I would always forget to create a smart object layer, and I'd have to redo it all over again, and I'd like be so pissed off in the office, and everyone would know it. So anyway, all right, so it's looking pretty good. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it just like that for now. You can mess with this all that you want, but the goal is to make it believable. All right. Let's go on to the last one. We spent quite a bit of time on that one. So the last one I want to show you is a chip bag. Now, yeah, I know that all three of these have to do with food. I don't know why I chose food. I didn't mean to. It just kind of happened that way. But this applies to basically any product design that you chose or any kind of product packaging that you chose. So this last one, the potato chip bag, I also found this on the internet, so I don't take credit for designing it, but I'm just using it as a demonstration here. So anyway, I put it on my page. All I did was hit enter. First thing I got to do, create a smart object. I'm going to do that. Cool. I'm also going to do what I didn't do last time on the can. I'm going to blend this first so I can see the bag behind it. Looking pretty cool already. I'm going to resize this down a little bit so everything is on the bag. There we go. And yeah, so one thing I noticed about this, this one's probably not going to involve too much warping, but I definitely want to blend it so I get all those wrinkles and in the bag and all the shadows and highlights that come through, because that's what really makes it look really good. But the one thing I am going to do is I'm going to warp it a tiny bit. I'm noticing that the bag is kind of squished in the middle. It's kind of got some indents, and this is what I mean by that. So I'm going to kind of pinch it there so that it kind of comes in the center a little bit and looks like it's actually taking on all those crinkles in the bag. And it's not going to be like a massive warp. So there we go. Hit enter. Last thing I want to do is chop off all of the rest of the edges there. So let's go ahead and get a quick selection of that bag. See how fast I can do this. I thought I could do it faster. Now it's giving me trouble. All right. I think it's good enough for now. I'm getting really picky with it. All right, cool. So let's apply this to the artwork. On the artwork, make sure the layer is selected, apply the mask, done, looking good. All right, so yeah, I hope this video helped give you a couple different tips for warping your artwork on your product label, or I mean your product box, packaging, bag, or whatever it may be. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions during class time. That's the best way to ask me questions. And rewatch this as many times as you need it, for sure. And skip, maybe even skip to which part of the demonstration was best fitting for you if you need to as well. So yeah, I'll catch you guys later.